Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Hang on. Just realized I forgot something. Okay, we are ready. Um, we left off right here. Yes, okay. Hey, oh, wait, leave. Here we are. We got everything set up. All right, so let's get back into reading this. Also, I did look it up to see if someone like Hisao, if it's safe for someone with his condition to have sex. I had to check if they were just really bullshitting things and pulling things out of the ass to like have this guy have sex with his, heart condition. But yeah, it actually turns out that if your condition is pretty much stable and there's no worsening or new symptoms, then it's considered safe. And Hisao is basically stable. Yeah, he has his little act up here and there. Yeah. So yeah, well, he has like a few like moments where it acts up a little bit. They seem to be pretty far in between. So yeah, the dude is fine. He's gonna survive. He can survive sex, obviously. Also, give me 1 second. Ah, right. Knocked over my phone. Turn on the fan for a little ventilation in here. I have the window open, so let's see. Okay, so where were we? Ah, yes, they were returning from their little trip. After the excitement of our trip to Hokkaido, it seemed strange to be right back to the usual daily routine so soon. Indeed, feels like a normal day, the same as any other. Well, that's what I like to think anyway. To tell the truth, the atmosphere of the entire class, no, the entire school, has changed. While an undercurrent of subdued trepidation had previously pervaded the class, now that the exams are in sight, it's boiled over into frantic studying rarely seen otherwise. Oh yeah, that's right, they had the exams coming up. Also, goddamn, why can't I get comfortable in this damn seat? Ugh, God, shit. Alright, there we go. Okay, okay. I feel better. I am comfy. One day, until exams start. It's horrific, really, that instead of studying, we went and wasted our time up north. We were such model students, too. Were you? Even Misha's looking at you like, yeah, really? That's around the class. Even the bubbly, ever-agenic Misha seems oddly deflated. She sits at her desk, nervously chewing a pen while Muto lectures from the front of the class. Wait, on closer inspection, I do believe she's eating it. Tear my eyes from the sorry spectacle. I turn my attention elsewhere. Oh yeah, Hanako's in your class. Hanako is frantically scribbling in her notebook, her face mere inches away from the page, seemingly trying to record every word that leaves Muto's mouth. Shizune's... well... Shizune. Cool as a cucumber, she sits diligently taking notes with her attention wholly focused on the front of the class. Truth be told, it's what I should be doing as well, if not for the fact that I feel like I have a pretty good handle on what's being covered already. Oh yeah? That sounds like you're a little overconfident, sir. I wonder how Lily's doing. Well, she does have a good head on her. She has plenty on her plate, unlike me. Her class representative duties, taking care of Hanako, her other social contacts, her extra English studies. That girl really does take on a lot. That's pretty similar to Shizune, actually. Shizune, like, is a fucking overachiever, and she loves to, like, do a bunch of things and is, like, super ambitious. Although Lily is, well, while Shizune is just doing it because she wants to prove she's good at it, Lily is the opposite in that she does have a lot of things to do, but it's not because she's trying to prove something, just that this is something I have to do. The lunchtime bell brings a sigh of relief in the entire class, Muto being no exception. I get the feeling he much prefers the more laid-back atmosphere of his normal classes to the frantic pace of exam preparation we're subjected to right now. Hee-chan! Help me! I lower my eyelids to a half-mast, making clear my intention of doing quite the opposite. Help me, help me, help me! Not going well? Shi-chan's gonna be fine, but I think I might die. Am I gonna die, Hee-chan? Well, will you let me die from all this work? How maudlin. Given that she's neither the brightest student in the class nor the most diligent, it isn't a great surprise that she's finding it hard to cope with the workload. Sorry, Misha, but I've got my own work to do. I thought you and Shizune would be studying together over the long weekend anyway. Studying's too boring to waste a holiday on, Hee-chan. Shopping together was much more fun, wasn't it, Shi-chan? It's only now that I realize Shizune's been looking over at us, and that Misha's arms have been moving likely all this time. I must be really zoned out to not have noticed. That and they've been in your class for so long now that I think you're just used to them already sign languaging to each other already. What is it with girls and shopping anyway? Even Lily and Hanako have dragged me out with them a couple times. But you went anyway. It's so rare to see a guy that likes going shopping. Well, my role would probably be best described as pack mule. I can't say I share your enthusiasm about the experience. Back to the exams. You studied after you got back from the days off, didn't you, Shizune? Of course, Hee-chan. It's only sensible to study in the days before. Misha makes it sound vaguely similar to a dying cow. Oh, a dying cow? Okay, so it's like, I don't know how dying cow sounds like. Like a deflated sound, I think. And she realizes her folly and unceremoniously flops onto her desk, betrayed even by her best friend. Judging from Shizune's quite frustrated look at Misha, she probably told her to study as she did. Don't worry, you can still gain some grades if you start studying now. Maybe. Misha does not seem overly amused. It seems the bubbly balloon of everlasting cheerfulness has been cruelly popped. Shizune's sign goes unnoticed by the moping Misha, earning her a quick poke in the shoulder. It takes barely a moment for Misha to get back into form. Oh, so what did you do over the weekend, Hee-chan? I just took a trip up north with Lily and Hanako. It was pretty nice. I see both of them narrowing their eyes at me. Their minds surely in the gutter. Oh, like, oh, you want to trip with two girls, huh? As a guy clothes shopping be damned, but tool shopping, I could be there all day. See, this is like, I try to even it out. If I'm going out with a guy and we're gonna do some shopping, I want to, like, if I'm gonna go and see something I like, then I want him to have a chance to see something he would like. So, I mean, I've done that with Icy several times on the holiday. The fact that their suspicions are founded makes the situation all the more awkward. Yes, because you had sex with Lily. Twice. Well, we just studied and went sightseeing. There's nothing more to it. After such a flagrant lie, I realized that I may not have been the best step. Considering Shizune's connections and her total lack of restraint when it comes to questioning someone she suspects of telling untruths. Are there many Toy Stores over there? Well, we did go to a few places that had some, like, models and stuff. He wanted to look. And yes, we took a gander. Just like when we were in London, like, we were looking for places where I can find, like, souvenirs to take home. London souvenirs. Funny enough, it was in a American candy shop. I kid you not, that's what it said, American candy shop. And they had when you went in, there's a stairs toward the back. And when we went down, this is where all the London stuff was at. It's like they were pushing out the American stuff, but the London souvenirs were like a afterthought almost, but they had everything downstairs. So that's how I got the some of the little souvenirs for my cousin and my roommate over here. And oh yeah, and I remember that day we also went like London. We did a little sightseeing around London, and we also went to this Japanese store because where we were in terms of the Airbnb, we saw a Japanese bakery. We went in there because Icy really wanted to find some melon bread. And unfortunately, when we went in, they were like, no, that's it, we already sold out. And then the girl like kind of looks around, she leans in, she goes, but if you're really trying to get some soon, since we're gonna be closed for the rest of tomorrow and such, she said, go to Chinatown. I shouldn't be telling you this because that's our competitor, but go to Chinatown. They have melon bread. So we're like, okay, all right, we'll keep that in mind. We still got some other bread. But I do remember there was a day where we just stayed in, basically. Not just stayed in, but just like, we didn't have big plans to go out anywhere. And that was a day where, like, you know what? Just to make the most of our time, let us actually go out and do something. We'll go to London, and then we'll look at all that stuff. So, the girl real one, yep. She's giving us the hints and all that, yep, the good tips. So, at the Airbnb, we looked it up, like, okay, how do we get to, where can we find a bakery that has the melon bread? So, I'm looking through London, like, central London, like, basically big city stuff. And I remember, like, as we're looking, I found it. I'm like, it's here. There's a place here called, I think it was called Japan Center, if I recall correctly. Japan Center. So we're like, okay, I found it. This is the line, so we gotta take. Because that's the fastest way to get there. You gotta take the tubes, the train, basically. They call it the tubes. So yeah, we figured out our route. Hopped on from one train to another line and all that stuff. From one line to another until we managed to go to the central London. Specifically, I think it was around Piccadilly. That's what they called it. And we did a little looking around first as we made our way to finding it. And and when we found it, I remember, like, we were surprised by how much it actually was. Like, yes, there was the melon bread and ramen, by the way. Ramen is fucking good soda, man. I suggest the melon flavor soda and the original ramen flavor. Delicious. And okay, so that was like the top floor. They had like all the bread and the sodas and stuff like that, quick things. So we got our melon bread, and then we saw, hey, there's like a downstairs area. Yeah, so we went down the stairs and we found that downstairs was actually a whole, like, little market, basically. Well, it's not a market, but like an actual, like, shop, like grocery store almost. A mixture of a grocery store and a deli. So we were looking around, checking out the sweets and other little snacks and stuff that they had and all that, just to see if anything called out to us. He was specifically looking for Kamen Rider themed things, like food and all that, which unfortunately we could not find. Um, and since we were already there, like, well, you know what? Getting a little hungry, let's get some food. I kid you not, I've had a grocery store sushi like around here, and there's always this certain taste to it. Not that it's bad. It never made me sick, but there's like a little taste to it that makes you realize, yeah, this is grocery store level stuff. Like like it just lets you know, makes you know it and realize it that you are eating something that's a little subpar than if you were going to a store, or not, sorry, not a store, but a legit like Japanese restaurant or sushi bar where the quality is better. I did not have that feeling whatsoever getting the sushi packs, like the when you I know I do, but even the grocery stores don't really make it all that well. I actually have to go to a Japanese store, not store, fuck, I keep saying store, Japanese restaurant, like a legit Japanese restaurant, to get good quality sushi. I cannot get that from a grocery store. Maybe I can get it if I go down to fucking, what's it called, Little Tokyo over there. That's the only way I can think of. But that's still a bit of a little bit of a drive, and oh man, I'm not too comfortable about it because it's driving in the middle of LA. But anyway, back to what I was saying. But like, there, they were preparing these little trays and stuff, like, in all these like containers of all the prepared, sushi and noodles and things like that. And Japanese restaurant, the cooks are Hispanics. No, no, yeah. No, there were, yeah. And I remember I picked up the sushi one that had all different kinds in it. And the first bite I took, I'm like, holy shit, that is some good sushi. Like, they knew what they're doing and didn't give me that weird taste or anything. It was legitimately good. I even gave like a piece to Icy for him to try, and he thought it was really good too. So yeah, like that was some good sushi. I remember he got onigiri. That's what he got. He had two different kinds. One was a cod one, and I don't remember what the other one was, but he wasn't a fan of it. I mean, he ate it, but he was just like, it's not really my favorite. But yes, London had some damn good sushi, at least from that particular area. That particular shop, Japan Center. It was freaking good. Anyway, we digressed a little bit. Let's get back on topic. I really have no idea how she's going to take it, but she'll find out eventually anyway. It isn't as if it's really her business who might date in any case. And yes, Lily and I are going out now. Well, Misha receives the news with an enthusiastic smile. She soon gives a look of mild surprise, somewhat masked by her cool demeanor. Whoever you date is your business. I hope you two go well together. Misha gives a look that says, this is the most quarter I could possibly receive on the matter. That's all I wanted, really. After she says this, though, she's only begins to sign something else, then stops herself and shakes her head at Misha to prevent her from translating. Huh. What was she trying to say? Normally I think this is strange enough, but the awkwardly casual way Shizune gives before walking off with Misha in tow adds to my confusion. Shizune is hardly the kind of person to pull a punch or communicate without forethought. I shrugged my shoulders at the duo's odd behavior, and looked towards Hanako's desk. but I see that her chair is empty. She was definitely here before, so I guess she just didn't feel like waiting. I'll go grab some food alone then. Walking down the hallway to the unused room that's become a second home to 3 students in particular, I mournfully looked down at the plastic-wrapped salad roll and juice box in my hand. Cafeteria's food really is unappetizing. Maybe I'll consider this my penance for my recent indiscretions. Opening the door, I noticed one less quiet figure than I expected. Is it just Lily? It's strange. Despite having known Lily for months, I can't help thinking back to the very first time I opened this door and saw her silently sitting in the sunlight. Just as she did then, she slowly opens her eyes, unmoving as they are, and calmly addresses me. Good morning, Hisao. It's afternoon, I think. Has Hanako been around? She skittered out of class without me even noticing. Oh. Lily cradles her cheek thoughtfully as I take a seat, my bag taking its place against the closest leg of the table, and my unsatisfying meal neatly set out in front of me. She did disappear. For a time. She said she had to study for the upcoming exams, and left for the library. I find ourselves not entirely believing her words. She's giving them... Oh. Okay, so I don't know if Hanako really is really telling the truth, and they're just not believing it, or she's trying to give them some, alone time. Well, at least her intentions are in the right place. She is sweet, but she didn't go this far to let us have our space. Oh, so okay, Lily saw through it, okay. I might talk to her about it sometime. Oh, probably for the best. For a while, we quietly eat our meals, Lily elegantly nibbling on her sandwiches and sipping her tea as I eat what tastes like a garden sandwich in dry dough. Ugh. That sounds awful. I am not a salad person, but even when you put a salad in between bread, it does not sound great. The atmosphere feels slightly strained, neither of us knowing quite what to say to each other now that our small talk has dried up. Eventually, we both finish our food, with no conversation forthcoming for quite some time. Eventually, though, Lily's soft voice breaks the silence. A lot happened back there, didn't it? Again, silence with both our minds on the same topic, though. I think I had my feelings on that sorted out. Sourdough egg or tuna salad sandwich. I don't like tuna. Not canned tuna, anyway. Ugh. Egg salad just depends. It's been very hit and miss with me. I know everything happening in a hurry, but I don't regret anything that happened in Hokkaido. Not one thing. Hisao? Slightly tense, I take her hands in mine, half to feel her, half to settle my own nerves. I stand by my words back there, Lily. I love you and I won't leave you. I only wish for you to think the same. She silently reflects for a long time, which feels like an eternity. Her reverie comes to an end as she takes one hand from mine, placing it over them as she leans her body forwards and stands out of her chair. After a moment's hesitation, her face slightly pensive. Her lips meet mine for a brief moment. Oh, she wanted a kiss. My mind feels as if it briefly stopped at that moment, barely registering Lily sitting back in her chair and smiling back at me with her ever so slightly reddened cheeks. Hearing that makes me very happy, Hisao. I'd be glad to stay with you. Maybe it'd be good to slow things down a bit compared to before. We still have school after all, and our exams. She gives a mischievous giggle, which proves to be contagious. That might be a good idea indeed. Do you think you'll fare well in your exams? It's only one day until they arrive, as you say. I probably should have studied more, but I think I've got a good enough head to manage. That said, I had to battle off Misha and Shizune. Is your class as worried about the exams as mine? It's an exasperated sigh, all but confirming it. I'm thankful for the atmosphere becoming a bit lighter. I think so. I've already been asked for help by 2 of my classmates, and there'll no doubt be more. Think of it as your first training of being a teacher, maybe? That's probably a good way to think of it. On that note, how are you faring in your English studies? I remember it's far from your strongest subject, and the few sentences you memorized to speak to my mother aren't likely to help. Damn, right on the mark. Oh, you got me. If you don't mind, would you be able to possibly help in that regard? Please? It would be my pleasure to help you, Hisao. But in exchange... She lowers her eyebrows at me, her coquettish nature tentatively coming to the fore. No problem at all. You'd probably be better off with some help in your studies, though. She beams a smile at me, one of girlish victory that nearly makes me blush. I get the feeling she's aware of how to use her face to twist my judgment, so I should probably be more on guard. Here and now, though, a study group seems like an expedient way for both of us to show up on our more lacking skills. School bell rings out, reminding us that time isn't going to stand still. Huh, lunchtime's over already. Sure is easy to lose track of the time here. This room's so far from the other clubs and activities, not much sound can reach us. That's probably most of the reason why. Place far from all the others, alone with just one person whom she loves. As Lily stands and collects her bag and cane, my thoughts are cast back to the time we spent in Hokkaido. Ah, before I go, Akira and I are having a homecoming party in my room tomorrow. Will you be able to come? And back again. Oh, my schedule's free, so I should be able to make enough room in my study time to make it. Good to hear, Hisao. For what it's worth, I'm glad you're back from Scotland. Once exams are over, we should have some more time to ourselves. Holidays start soon after, too. We can start the holidays with Tanabata then, just as we promised at the school festival. She brings her hand to her cheek and laughs, slightly nervously, recalling the events as I silently thank myself for managing to remember. It seems odd to see her react in such a way, though it's not like I never saw her embarrassed before. I'd better be going. Farewell, Hisao. Bye. Whether it's out of habit or just a stubborn desire for one small fragment of normality, I hold my hand up in farewell just as I always do. At least I'm consciously aware that I'm doing it now. I think I'm beginning to see a bigger picture than I ever have before. Not only with Lily, but also my life ahead. The change in my past are finally breaking. Oh shit, here we go. Next scene. Walking up the now slightly more familiar corridor of the girls' dormitories, I can hear the faint sound of laughter coming from up ahead. It doesn't take long to identify the source as Lily's room, though the deep timbre of the female voice unmistakably belongs not to her, but to her sister. I rub my knuckles on the door with the usual light 3 taps. Oh, jeez, my ankle. My hand barely retreating as the door swings open. Hey, Hisao. Hey. Hello, Lily. Hanako. Hanako looks up tentatively, her hands buried in her oversized pink nightgown. From her side, Lily turns sideways towards the direction of my voice and smiles. It would be a flagrant lie to say I dislike the sight of her in those pajamas. I catch Akira gave me a sidelong look with a knowing grin, to which I reply with a sharp glare. She takes the hint, shrugs, and walks back to a low table in the center of the room. As I go to join her, Lily gives me a nod of greeting and starts pouring me a cup of tea. It's nice to see you again, Hanako. You've been getting around recently. Lily wears a look of concentration as the light brown liquid, carefully measured by her finger as always, flows from the teapot into the cup. It seems Hanako has taken up helping one of the people in your class with the newspaper club. Naomi, I think. Hanako gives an affirmative nod. Even after spending about 2 months in the class, I still have trouble remembering the names of those students I rarely talk with. It takes me a few mental contortions to connect the name with the face, but I eventually remember the girl that sits beside Hanako at the back of the class. Naomi Inoue. A fairly average-looking girl, except for her bleached blonde hair. Given her upbeat and straightforward personality, Naomi may have been an opening to poach Hanako for a club when she inquired about joining one. Either way, it's nice to see Hanako broadening her horizons. When I first met her, the idea of her joining a club with anyone but Lily would have seemed utterly laughable. That'd explain how busy you've been. Enjoying it? It's really interesting. As always, Hanako's far from being talkative. Some things never change, and it seems that Hanako's personality is one of them. She'll likely always be one to shy away from being overly social. Warned by the sound of crockery against the table as Lily gently places my drink in front of me, I think her and take a long sip. Hanako and Lily are tending to their own. Akira is quaffing a mug of strong-smelling black coffee. You're a lucky bastard, Hisao. Uh-huh. Can't help but grimacing at her teasing smile, still visible around the edges of the mug pressed to her lips. Seeing my sister in her pajamas. There's a lot of men out there who like to be where you are. Seen a lot more than that of her. Not that I admit it. Akira. Hey, I'm just teasing. She leans over to me as much as she can, whispering with a sly grin written on her face. And Hanako too, you perv. No, she really did see? Or did she overhear? No fucking way. I mean, I know we joked about it, but I didn't think Hanako would actually watch. Wait, what? Hey, it was her idea. Um, I, We'll look over to her, face turned to the ground, her hands fidgeting in the lap of her nightgown. If it's Hisao, I don't mind. Oh, wait, was Akira assuming there was a threesome going on? The closet pervert. Hold on. Let me go back to the text history. See my sister Pazamas and out there who like to be where you are. I'm just teasing. Oh, she's looking at him being like, oh, you're the perv. Not that Hanako's the perv, but the fact that he's seeing not only Lily in pajamas, but also Hanako in her pajamas. And Hanako's like, oh, well, I mean, if it's him, it's fine. But I don't think she gets it. Okay. So, no, it's not Hanako being a pervert, but it's Hisao, the pervert, looking at two girls in pajamas. Ah, this could be bad. I know Hanako's altogether too innocent to bother reading too much into such a thing. The expression Akira directs at me is positively stormy. Akira, please. It seems Lily can sense Akira's sudden change in aura just as well as I, even without seeing it for herself. Akira slowly looks away from me, like an attack dog leashed by its owner in the nick of time. I breathe a sigh of relief. I can't think of a more appropriate time to try and change topics than around now. If you don't mind me asking, Akira, what do you do for a living? Never seen you out of that suit. Think about what to do with yourself after school's over, huh? I'm a lawyer. For the most part, I work in the legal department of the Japanese branch of our family's company. The most boring possible answer, I suppose. Law's a pretty dry topic to most people. Kinda. Oh, you're not supposed to agree. Lily gives an amused giggle while holding her teacup and saucer, Hanako quickly joining her. This friendly atmosphere between everyone is something I'd miss while Lily and Kira were on their trip. While the dealings I had with Hanako didn't help, I think just not having Lily around changed the mood. It's nice to be back. I missed you, Hisao. And you too, Hanako. Same goes for the both of us. I'm guessing our classmates were happy to see you back. In a matter of speaking, yes. Kira's amused snort shows she's well aware of Lily's attitude towards such figures of speech. I imagine she'd have to be, given how long they've been together. Did you have fun in Scotland? For a moment, I wonder why she's asking. It had been quite a while since they came back. Then I remember everything that happened. we've simply not had time to look back. Well, with the exams and our Hokkaido trip. Oh, no wonder the music stopped. And even Akira's face, I think like her facial expression changed too. Lily's face goes distant for a moment. And the fact that Akira's first reaction is to look over to her sister doesn't escape me. Nonetheless, she quickly collects herself. It was nice. We hadn't met our family in such a long time, so it was a wonderful reunion. Hey, Yeiko, welcome. Yeah, I guess that's right. Their house being beachside was the best part, though. From her dismissive tone, I get the feeling Akira doesn't like their family as much as Lily does. You only like that because you finally had time to play around. Just because I'm the better swimmer. I don't take after the athletic side of the family, that's all. Well, you could take heart in the fact that you got the height genes at least. Oh, she's got the tallness. And the bust genes. That's not really the kind of thing to say around others. Though Lily pretends to scold Akira, she does so with an unmistakable, slightly chicken grin on her face. I doubt Akira really minds that, judging from her nonchalant expression. While I don't either, Hanako's looking down and blushing furiously beside me. The sisters' antics aside, their parents really do lead a I'm gonna just say bougie lifestyle. It seems utterly divorced from the life that Lily and Akira have lived up to now. I suppose practicality must have made the decision for them. To have come from such a wealthy and well-connected lineage only adds to the almost noble air Lily seems to have, though. It's a small wonder none of it seems to have rubbed off onto Akira. They really are as little alike as siblings can be. Their only similarity seems to be their shared confidence, which can be both endearing and a headache at times. Most of the night continues much the same, with Hanako eventually leaving the Soto sisters and me to ourselves as she heads back to her dorm room for a rest. For a while, only the barely audible sound from Lily's teacup and saucer can occasionally be heard as she slowly drinks. The silence is strained as Lily and I wait for the elephant in the room to be addressed. So... Lily dutifully puts her cup down, giving her sister her undivided attention. With Lily and me on one side of the little table and Akira at the other, this almost feels like a judge passing down a verdict. I hear that you two are going out now. I glance sideways at Lily to confirm her as a source of Akira's knowledge. She gives a gentle nod to Akira, which I mirror in an affirmation. Deciding that this is the proper time and place to do so, and Akira being the closest figure to a parent Lily's had for much of her life, I bow deeply with my hands on the floor before me, and my head very nearly the same. I'll take good care of your sister, Akira. I promise you. See, he's a lovely young gentleman. She must have heard my voice coming from a lower position than usual. I slowly bring myself back up, my eyes tentatively looking at Akira from under my brow. To tell the truth, I very much doubt my suited judge will raise any objections. She's very definitely the type to make her disapproval with others well known, something that lends her a measure of respect in my eyes. The old-fashioned kind, huh? Well, he's the kind of person I guess you'd go for. I don't have a problem with it, and I wish you two the best. Even if I didn't like it, I couldn't really do anything anyway. I offer a nod of appreciation to her, as Lily gives a small sigh of relief. Likely more out of duty than any actual belief Akira might have had any problems with us being together. I do wonder, though, how's the rest of the family taking it, particularly the part residing at Yamagu? Have you told her? Smiles turn to grimaces as Akira grins downright evilly. Those closest know how to twist a knife best, after all. Putting up with it may be the best term for the situation. Don't you agree, Hisao? Yeah, that sounds about right. At least she's being reasonable about it. Good to hear. That girl can be a handful the best of times. We sent a few messages back and forth during and just after the trip, and She was already busting my chops for seeing my boyfriend when we came back, after leaving Hideaki for so long. Sure does care for the little guy. Cast my mind back to Shizune's odd reaction after telling her about our relationship. But decided not to bring it up. It's no doubt simply born of their mutual antipathy, and Akira's comments only back that up. Well then, that's settled. Gotta get to work early tomorrow, so I'd better be off. She rises from the table with a grunt, her hand on her knee to push herself up. I just noticed Akira's eyes lingering on Lilly for a couple seconds before turning away, and she begins to take her leave. After she walks out the door, she stops and looks up thoughtfully before turning to us one last time. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to tell you. Use protection. Every time. I gag violently on the tea in my mouth. Contrary to my own, Lily's composure holds perfectly as she seems entirely unfazed. I'm kind of impressed. We are. Don't worry. You are? Okay, well that's good to know. I mean, not that we know, because, you know, those scenes are censored. Atta girl. See yas. And with that, she turns and strides away, a hand held high as she disappears into the darkened hallway, closing the door behind her. The most reaction I can muster is flopping forwards onto the table, completely drained of energy and truly exhausted by her. Lily's ability to hold her own against that suited devil is something I admire. She really is incredibly blunt. I don't think I'll ever be able to keep up with your sister's energy. As I feel Lily's soft hand come to rest on my own, I roll my head to the side to see her gently smiling. For a long time, we simply sit beside each other silently. Given her unquestionably unusual height, she is pretty much exactly as tall as I am. Probably a couple of centimeters higher, if anything. Like this, she appears even taller. The feeling of her pale, soft hand against mine is a pleasant one, as is the sight of the thin, silken pajamas she wears, showing her curves and collarbone. You do get on well, though, even if you do say that. I guess. You know, you two are a lot more alike than I first thought when I met you. Then it's a good thing I quickly stopped you from going after her, isn't it? Though she jokes about it, my assessment of my inability to keep up with Akira, either physically or mentally, was quite in earnest. Lily's slow-paced and ladylike, almost motherly nature is perhaps the single thing that helped me most in my first weeks of Yamako. Kind of think of it. Okay, so you weren't. Oh, wait. Since when were we using protection? As I give a curious look to my side, Lily's cheeks puff out. She huffs at me. Unlike you, I remembered. The packet is in the cupboard next to the sink. So I'm not the only one of us that takes a pill. In hindsight, I feel rather thoughtless for not remembering it all and leaving it to Lily. See, this is kind of why I feel like there should be male birth control in a sense that is beyond just a condom. I always saw it as like, if the woman is on the pill and, you know, a guy is, you know, finishing in, I see it as like, you're taking a gun and shooting at someone who has a bulletproof vest. It's gonna hurt still, in some ways, and then sometimes they can pierce through, I think. At least from what I heard, there's been a few instances of them actually going through a bulletproof vest, so. Because, let's be real, not all the time does, the pill is not 100%, foolproof. So I kind of feel like instead of like, you know, having just the one person wearing the bulletproof vest, maybe have it so that the person who is doing the shooting has just blanks or something You know, like not an actual bullet, but like I don't know, like something that would kind of hurt a bit, but not much. That is like way less likely to pierce through a bulletproof vest or anything like that. Quite literally shooting blanks, huh? Or like, oh no no no, like rubber bullets. Yeah, something like that. Like it's I knew there was something I was trying to go for. My brain was like on the edge of it, but there it is. Yeah, like shooting rubber bullets instead. Change the bullets from actual bullets to rubber bullets. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it'd be convenient, and also it really lessen the chances too if both partners are taking it. But whether they actually come around to making a pill for a man to take as birth control, we'll see. I don't know. Technology marches on. I just feel like it's a good idea. Looking over to the cupboard she mentions, I notice again the knee-high piles of books around us that were here the other times I'd visited. For the most part, they're lined up against the wall to give a little more room around the table. Why don't you get a bookshelf for your books? It's odd to see books just piled around, especially given that your room looks so neat and orderly otherwise. They're easier to find this way. I know exactly which pile each book is in. Wouldn't you still know that after putting each set on a different shelf? That may be, but she just doesn't want to do it. So she's not immune to bouts of laziness after all. You have so many of them. It's kind of a shame we can't share our book sets despite both of us reading so much. She gives a short giggle. Come to think of it. Oh, wait, no, that's him. Sorry. Come to think of it. Why do you order your books through Yuko? I imagine there'd be plenty of sites that you could order books in Braille from, especially in English Braille. There are a lot of text-to-speech programs too. She turns her head slightly away from me, which strikes me as somewhat surprising. I'm just not all that good with computers. I'm alright with typewriters and braillers, but that's about it. Her tone almost makes me chuckle. She's a prideful person, so admitting something like that must be difficult. So Lily's the low-tech kind of person. Given her old-fashioned personality, it's not really a stunning surprise. I wouldn't worry about it. A lot of people aren't really that good with them, so it's not that unusual. That unusual. Now she's even more depressed. Feels like I'm twisting the knife rather than healing her wounds. A bit of squirming, I shuffle my way closer to her, tentatively putting one hand around her waist to hug her. I'm still not really used to this kind of physical affection, but Lily seems to like it. Oh, that's a new one. Lily smiles as she turns to face me, kiss being the reward for giving in to her. She draws me in, brushing my upper lip with hers before pressing against both. Don't tell me this is going to lead into another. This way, every one of my senses is filled with her. The barely perceptible scent of her hair, her taste as her tongue fleetingly touches mine, the tenderness of her lips, the image of her filling my mind, the total silence apart from her faint breath. We may have kissed before, but even if this is more of a kiss of simple affection than. Wait, what? But even if this is more a kiss of simple affection than anything, it's still a new and a pleasant sensation. Okay, so it's just a kiss. Okay. I thought I was gonna turn into something else. Judging from her vivid blush as she pulls back, it's obvious she feels the same as I do. Even if we're entirely alone, it still feels a little embarrassing to open up to each other this much. If we take everything day by day, I think that would be for the best. Small steps, right? Yeah, just small steps. We have plenty of time to be together, even after the school's year is over. As long as we move together, I think everything will work out okay. Neither of us is going anywhere soon after all. For now, I'm just thankful for this small moment in time we can spend together. Wait, what the fuck is this? I stand unmoving in front of the door to the nurse's office for what feels like at least a dozen minutes or so. It's not like I never entered the small beige room before, nor is it because of any feeling of childlike anxiety over the visit. Maybe it's because the nurse's office is akin to a confessional, an admission that my body is flawed. The knowledge that such a fact is kept entirely confidential between the nurse and me hardly lessens the feeling. Remembering that the bell to signal the end of the lunch break will sound soon, I give a sigh and open the door. The burden will stay with me just as while longer. That's a dungeon. Well, now, it isn't Nakai. Good to see you. Or bad, I guess, considering that I'm a nurse. He gives a small laugh, amused at his little joke. I find his humor lacking and somewhat off, but the fact that he can make light of such a situation is perhaps comforting, or at least distracting. His brief episode. Hold on, let me drink some water. Okay, I'm sorry, I feel my throat getting a little dry. His brief episode of entertainment over, he claps his hands together and gets down to business. I take a seat as he gestures for me to do so. I wish the classrooms had seats this comfortable. I feel my mind wandering as my eyes quickly scan the room, distracted by all the small changes since I last came. Alrighty, so what brings you here? I haven't seen you often, so I assume your health's been good so far? Well, mostly. I see. Smile drops as I trail off. I feel slightly guilty about it. It's these moments where I can't rationally call myself normal that make me so reluctant to see the nurse. They're an admission that I'm different from everyone else. While I was on a trip during the long weekend, I had a few problems with my heart. The music stopped. He hums very seriously and nods as he does so, urging me to go on. I think it was... Yeah, it was as I was walking a fairly long distance. I think the right term for it is the heart flutter. Excuse me, hold on. A burp came up. I suddenly went weak at the knees and felt almost like I was having a small heart attack. But it passed in about half a minute. Even afterward, though, I felt pretty fatigued and nauseous. Not good. Not good at all. That was how many days ago exactly? Did you do anything unusual aside from exerting yourself before the episode? Were you taking your medication properly? He was not. Then it switches from awkward jokester to serious health professional mode, rattling off questions, making notes, calling up stuff on his computer. I tell him about my forgetting to take my pills that morning, in the preceding evening. It was a stupid thing to do, but I can't change anything about it now. Except answer honestly and bite the bullet. That's what you should do with a doctor, yes. You're supposed to tell them everything. Do not lie. As much as it hurts, as much as you don't want to have those words out in the air, you gotta tell them everything. I heard of cases of, like, older men not admitting that they were taking Viagra, and because they omit that, they get into a worse situation when they're in the hospital because, the nurses or the doctors give them a medication or treatment that just makes their condition worse, like their overall like health worse in the moment, because they're not aware of that, because these things can have side effects when combined with another treatment. So remember, kids, be honest, with the medical professionals. Literally, it might be the one thing that might save your life. So, there you go. His seriousness evolves into a frown, and the talk evolves into an instant checkup. I finish buttoning up my shirt and again get motion to take a seat in front of the nurse. Is this the first heart problem you've had since coming to Yamaku? I've had short pains in my chest before, just a couple of times, but they were more discomfort than anything like this. He leans back in his chair, briefly resembling a white-coated... What? I don't know what that is, as he mulls over the mysterious case of the heart flutter, moving his lips from side to side to show he's thinking, his non-existent mustache wiggling. He eventually comes to a conclusion. Not making a lie, say fell on it either. Apparently it's a common incident. What do you mean by fell on it? What? Wait. You're not talking about sticking things up certain places, are you? And people are saying, oh no, I fell on it. Non-flared bases. Oh. Well, you survived it. That's always on the plus side. I blink at this one. Then notice the nurse wearing his got you face. It's actually somewhat reassuring. I don't think he would crack jokes if things were really serious, so I keep silent and take my lumps. I'll have a talk with your doctor, but right now I suspect it's simply due to physical exertion. I've been keeping up with regular light exercise, like I directed you to. I make sure to walk a reasonable amount every day. It's usually enough to work up a bit of a sweat. But then again, I'm not really as fit as I used to be. That should be enough then. The main thing to keep in mind is to do regular low-stress exercise. Not short bursts of sprinting and such. I understand. Since leaving the hospital, I've been a lot more focused on my studies, partly to take my mind off not being able to do more physical things. It's good to hear you're coping well. Sudden lifestyle changes can be hard at the best of times, so I'm pleased to hear that you sound like you have everything in order. Almost everything, that is. Nevertheless, I want to keep a close eye on you for a while. Just for observation's sake. Just to make sure things aren't going downhill, you understand? That's something I really don't want to hear. Since coming to Yamaku, all I've wanted to do is live as normal life as possible. Observation was one of the words I came to hate most during my hospital stay. For so long, I felt as if I could have just walked straight out the hospital doors. If not for that observation the doctors wanted so dearly. Sure, should I come in more often? He checks the calendar next to his computer, which seems to inflict on him a nasty case of furrowed brow. He spins back towards me after that. The summer holidays are a bit of a pain, considering the timing. I'll check with the doctor to try and get a better handle on the situation and see how he wants to proceed. But I think you should just take things slowly and carefully for now. What you're describing doesn't immediately sound like a recurrent event, but it won't hurt to slow down a bit for a while. Just to make sure. What should I do for today? He looks over my shoulder at a clock hanging over the door. I'd never noticed it if I hadn't followed his gaze. It's nearly time for school to be over, so you may as well just leave early. He gives me a sly wink, making sure that I understand he's doing me a favor. Well, nurse's orders. Thanks. That's what I'm here for, after all. I know you might not want to hear this, but you can't ignore your condition. Don't hesitate to see me if you have any further problems. Or if you just have anything you want to ask. Bye. He spins around and gets back to typing on the computer in front of him. I suppose I'll just read before waiting for Lilly by the gate, considering I don't have much else to do. Even as I leave, his words echo in my mind. My condition isn't something as limiting as many of the others here in Yamaku, and I don't want to burden Lilly with thinking about it. I just live life normally and avoid any short, sharp shocks. I should be okay. I won't let my condition rule me. Lily comes into view soon after the bells heralding the end of the day ring out. She says farewell to a number of classmates heading in the other direction before beginning her weekly trip to the convenience store. Afternoon, Lily. The immediate warm smile and relaxed demeanor she assumes upon noticing my presence are unexpectedly welcome. Hello, Hisao. Good afternoon to you, too. She hesitates for a second, eventually deigns to tilt her face forward and close her eyes. My lips meet hers with a measure of slight trepidation before we move off, hand in hand. The fact that we're so close in height is somewhat useful at times, there being no need for either of us to turn our head upward nor downwards in order to meet the others. It doesn't take much time to leave the noise of the other students far behind us. The tapping of Lily's cane in her free hand, the only sound to be heard. Silence. Blissful silence. It's all that greets us while we slowly... Oops, hold on. Let me move the mouse out of the way. While we slowly walk in the setting sun's light. I think I'm going to really like this town. The huge green, hilly expanse, the trees everywhere, somewhat rustic little buildings. So I've come to appreciate the tranquility of it as well. I think so. I came from a metropolitan city near Tokyo, so the quiet of this town really alienated me when I first arrived. After a while, it became really nice, though. I think I prefer it to the hustle and bustle of my home city now. While I preferred the quiet of such a rural town even when I first arrived, I suppose I had the advantage of growing up in a quiet area before I came. Hanako said the surrounding areas are very pretty, too. Lily may say such a thing quite easily, but each time she mentions how others describe sights around her as beautiful or pretty, I feel a little put off. I notice her expression becoming one of anticipation for some question or another. She always had a good sense for when somebody's not saying something that's on their mind, so I may as well speak up. I was kind of wondering, how to put this. Do you ever regret that you can't see what things look like for yourself? It's just something I've been thinking about. She thinks carefully for a time. Do you ever regret that you can't hear people whispering on the other side of a room? I can only speak for myself, but the fact that I can't see is the only way I've experienced life. Just as I cannot do something you can't do something that I'm capable of. The fact that the world is made for those who are sighted can be a pain sometimes. But there are many, many people who suffer much more than I because of the way the world is. Oh, that does make sense, but still, it just feels kind of bad to describe something that you can't experience to you. She tilts her head quizzically, as if I just said something that makes very little sense at all. But I can experience it. Oh, but I can experience it. You just said yourself that you like this area because of the way the surroundings are. I like this area for the very same reason. Thanks to the fact that this is a small, rustic town surrounded by trees, it gives some peace and quiet away from the din at school and the bustle, not to mention the smells of the city. I suppose it would also be much like the home she shared with Akira as well. Her outlook on it seems pretty sensible, and I'm not surprised that she's got a much better handle on her particular condition than I do on mine. Just like her coming from a location somewhat similar to Yamako's surroundings led her become more acclimatized to it in a short time. Being born blind affected her stats, by her own admission. I just stopped being so annoyed with myself over it. I can't shake the feeling that I've depended on Lily far too much, given the circumstances most have had to deal with in Yamaku. That makes a lot of sense. You're pretty good at explaining, as always. Oh, come to think of it, where's Hanako anyway? She was with us for lunch. It seems she's busy studying. The exams are far from over, and she said she wants to do better this year than the last. Well, I admire her work ethic. She's really been trying to give us a lot of room alone recently. She is that type of person, I think. The kind that puts others' needs above her own at every chance. She's a sweet girl, even though so much has hurt her in the past. I don't know. I feel like it's only now, when she's less close to me than ever, that she's truly finding herself. Like finding her own identity that's away from you. It was thanks to you that she began to become more confident after all, not me. Take my hand from hers and gently place it on her head. The important thing is that you were there for her. I can't even imagine what she'd be like without having found someone like you. That much became obvious while you were in Scotland. We're all still friends, so we just got to have faith in her. I think she'll become a good person, and that much is thanks to you being there for her when she most needed it, just as you were there for me. It makes me feel a bit childish when you sound so wise. Well, I try. Are you doing anything on the weekend, by any chance? Nothing that comes to mind. Why? Then how about a date on Sunday? It'd be something to do besides exam preparation. Counting my rapidly beating heart, she simply smiles and nods. That would be lovely. Where would you like to go? Face suddenly changes to one of disapproval. You can't do that, Hisao. That's cheating. Do what? A gentleman should never ask a lady where to have a date. Oh. Her smile quickly comes back, assuring me that she's far from serious. Don't worry about it. I'll think about where we should go. Where we could go. I'll leave it to you then. I promise to decide on the next date, though. With our plans for the weekend made, the rest of the walk down the hill continues in silence. I mean, I guess she has a point. Like, you're the one that's asking to go on a date, and then you just don't have an idea where, and you just ask them where you want to go. You could have done a little better on that, Hisao. The prospect of that lasting for any length of time, however, is shattered as I catch sight of a familiar figure waiting for us, her hand held high. Yo. Look who it is. Thank you, please come again. Change in temperature as I step outside from the convenience store sends a chill up my spine. Feels like summer's starting to wind down. Again, my side, the same feeling seems to affect Lily as well, though unlike me, she doesn't manage to hide the fact. Something I didn't realize at first was how physically delicate she is, even compared to the likes of Hanako. How to describe her, I'd have to say that she reminds me of a China doll. Akira walks up behind her and gives a couple of hard pats on her shoulder, much to Lily's consternation. For a moment, she looks as envious of my status as an only child as I am of their close relationship. They talk between themselves for a few moments as I sort out my bags, their voices too low for me to catch. Eventually they break off, and we begin to walk back to school. Feels good to be out of that damned office. Kids don't know how good you have it here. Kids. You too, then. Kids grow up so fast nowadays. You're not old enough to say that. I don't know. Being around Hideaki makes me feel damn old. He's so precocious. He reminds me of you when you were younger. He's a nice boy. It'd be a shame if Shizune comes to have too much of an influence on him. Jeez. King isn't even snort at her sister's antipathy. She really doesn't seem to regard it as anything to make a serious fuss about. Treating him more like a childhood spat. She looks over to me, apparently only just remembering that I'm here, and gives a small grin as she reaches towards her back pocket. What is it? Just a sec, let me dig it out. After quite some difficulty, she manages to retrieve her black leather wallet from her back pocket, quickly fishing out what looks to be a folded square of paper. With Lily all but unaware of what's happening, Akira unfolds the scrap and hands it to me. Oh, a photo? Who was that in the middle? An old photo of what looks to be a younger Lily and Shizune operating a noodle stall, with some other girl in the background. She looks vaguely familiar, but I can't I pinpoint why. She looks familiar. Oh god, I'm like staring. I feel like I've seen those eyes somewhere, but I'm not sure. What is it, Akira? I think you know. Lily mulls this over for a few moments before a realization dawns on her. Akira, you really needn't. It's fine, isn't it? Besides, it's like the only photo I have of you two since you entered Yamaku, where you're not at each other's throats. Oh, I look back down to the photo in my hand. It does seem strange to see Lily and Shizune working together so diligently without any sign of animosity. If the photos of them during Yamaku's festival, that means it must have been taken 1 or 2 years ago. In other words, the time when they were both in the student council together. What was the girl in the back? She looks kind of familiar. It's not Misha, is it? Oh, that's... Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was like, why does those eyes look familiar? Holy shit, that was... Okay, right when I said it's not Misha, is it? Huh, I knew you wouldn't recognize her. Misha, where she went and dyed her hair pink. Oh my god, I should have known better. I should have known better than to think that it was fucking anime hair that just happened to be pink. No, she just dyed it pink. My gosh, what a difference though. That's Misha? No way. It was extremely strange to see Misha without her so very distinctive hairstyle. Judging from Akita's tone, she doesn't take favorably to Misha's idea of fashion. I suppose that fact just accentuates how odd the situation looks. To think they were so friendly in the past. I wish I could do something to amend the relationship. You're being very quiet, Hisao. It just feels kind of strange to see you all so friendly like this. Lily moves to say something, but stops herself. In the end, it isn't a matter for me. It's between Shizune and Lily, and nobody else. Things change, unfortunately. I hand the photo back to Akira, who sighs as she folds it up and slides it back into her wallet. A little memory, quietly hidden away, to be pulled out again sometime later. Yeah, that they do. Initially, I think Akira's reaction to be simply in response to the situation between Lily and Shizune. But she looks oddly glum compared to what I expect. Lily's expression has clouded as well. Oh, what's wrong? Ah, it's just that I'll be going to Scotland fairly soon. You're leaving for Scotland again? For a long moment, Akira looks surprised. It's an ill-fitting expression for her. After a glance at Lily, she turns back to me as if she'd never done so. Yeah, in a couple of weeks, I'll be leaving for Inverness to work at the company's headquarters. It's a pretty big jump in corporation position, and it's not a chance that's going to come up again. So Akira's going to leave Japan on what seems to be a permanent basis. I can't help feeling that my assumption that we could all happily while away our days, having fun in the isolated little world, is coming to an end. It's unsettling. I look at Lily, mildly surprised that she hasn't told me such a thing despite usually being so forthcoming. She continues to walk with her face fixedly pointed ahead. I can't read her expression, nor can I even guess what's on her mind, which is discomforting given how it's usually easy for me to do both. It reminds me of the time when we met at the Shanghai, just before what could be called our first date. At the time, all I could do was comfort her without knowing the cause, and now it feels no different. As we finally reach the school dormitories once again, there's a somewhat awkward silence. I don't think I'm the only one who feels it. See you tomorrow then, Lily. Bye, Akira. Good night, Hisao. See ya. And with that, they walked to the female dormitories. Opening the door to the male dormitories, I stopped and looked back at them. Just moments before their figures disappeared behind the heavy wooden door. That was a strange moment when Akira said she was leaving. While that wasn't the first time when my thoughts regarding my new life have been called into question, it's perhaps the first time to do it quite so profoundly. I still don't know what to make of Akira's reaction, much less of Lily's. Night's chill reminds me to get back into my room before I catch something. My bag's pulling down my arms with seemingly redoubled weight. I have nothing else. I have a date with her set up for the weekend. I just need to stop overthinking stuff and get on with things as they are. Easier said than done, buddy. The exams are still ongoing after all. And when the trimesters end, and the summer holidays beginning soon, there'll be plenty to keep me busy for a good while. As I give a yawn and retreat inside, my thoughts turn to what Lily will decide to set as the location of our weekend rendezvous. Oh, wow. Pretty sure it's about the last thing I had in mind when Lily said she'd decide where to have our date. No man nor woman is dressed in anything but their finest, their formality only matched by that of their surroundings. Rich red wallpaper adorns the walls as the city lights far below flicker and glow. Combined with the ambient hum of quiet speech and the high-pitched clattering, of cutlery and wine glasses, the mood is very formal, yet relaxed enough for me to... Oh, goddamn, fucking birds are coming up. For me not to feel too uptight despite this being our first real date. Alright, give me a second. I'm starting to feel cold. The window was just behind the computer, so yeah. Okay. Once we get seated, our waiter leaves to attend to others with a quick bow, after an appreciative nod from Lily. Far from depending on my help, Lily's managed to navigate herself around surprisingly easy so far. Despite the unfamiliar environment, a light brush here and there, and she's generally quite deft at orienting herself as needed. My eyes look to Lily's. I can tell from her face that she's listening to her surroundings just as hard as I'm looking. Though, truth be told, my eyes are linking on her each time they sweep across the room. The red cheongsam? Yeah. I think I say so, yeah. The cheongsam she's wearing accentuates her figure very well. It shows off her legs. Even her hair is done up, and the scent of perfume is just noticeable. Oh, she put effort. Oh, she want to look cute and pretty. While my black suit may be a rental, I managed to select an appropriate one. It feels surprisingly comfortable considering I've so rarely worn one, and fits the setting just as well as Lily's attire. I guess this is a new experience for both of us then. She turns somewhat sheepish. I've never come to a place such as this before, no. One hell of a first day, that's for sure. It's gonna be pretty hard for me to top this. Small giggle. Even now, our nervousness is dissipating. Her hand skates along the center of the table till it touches the menu, which she takes in both hands and brings to her face. Hisao. I show her the beige laminated sheet just below her eyes. I can see another sheepish look. She can't read it. I doubt asking the waiter for a menu in Braille would be productive. I can read it out to you if you... Ugh. I can read it out for you, no problem. I take mine and give it a quick read, my small grin faltering. Perhaps there is. What's wrong? There are quite a few items on here. and I'm not completely sure how to pronounce a couple of them. One fine cuisine after another is listed. Most may be in Japanese, but a few are in English and French. I guess it's to be expected, but I have no idea what's in some of these. Oh, this one I recognize. Wait, hang on. You can cook that? A small giggle of amusement comes from behind the paper sheet. Well, okay, I could read them all out, but it'd take a few hours. Is there anything with some kind of fish in it? Let's see. No, 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 no. Aren't those poisonous? No, no, no. They eat that stuff? No, 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 no. Ah, here we go. Oh, hey, Ray, welcome. I'm just doing a reading of a visual novel. Taking it easy. That's because I finished the SpongeBob game, so yeah. Gonna take it easy until I start up a new game next week. A tuna salad seems to be a good bet. For the picture, it looks like it'd be pretty filling as well. That seems to be a reasonably safe option. Yeah, let's order two then. I'm pretty sure a couple of these dishes are from poisonous animals. I'd had enough deadly run-ins for now. Lily maintains a smile, but there's a distinct lack of laughter. Black humor mustn't be your cup of tea, though to be honest, I don't find it exceedingly funny either. There are certainly quite a few interesting smells wafting about. The same is true of the sights, I assume. I've never been anywhere quite like this. Fancy Japanese tea house on an occasion or two, but never anything this lavish, nor European in styling. Can't wait for that gameplay. Yeah, it's gonna be Persona 3. I played 4 and 5 already, so it's time to do 3. Before another word can be said, a portly waiter in a distressingly tight vest appears at our table to take our orders. Oh god. Provencal tuna salad knit. I don't know how to say that, please too. I hope I don't mess up the pronunciation of that too badly. Even if I did, he doesn't show it. And may I have a glass of Chardonnay, please, Hisao? Oh, the same. Aren't you guys underage for that? As the waiter nods and leaves, I suddenly realize what I said by absentmindedly mimicking Lily's answer. I regret it pretty quickly. Wish I could watch, but can't. Thought I'd pop in and check out where the date is nice. Oh, yeah, this is where I am in Katawa Shoujo. Thanks, Candy. Take care of yourself. Alcohol. Only a bit. This girl has an odd propensity to getting hooked on things, I swear. Also, it's Europe, lower age for alcohol. Ah, that's why. Surprising that they didn't ask for identification. I guess we both do look mature for our age. I'll have to take your word for it. I'll add that this isn't what I call the type of place that asks such things, though. Oh, good point. We both relax a little into our seats, try to take our minds off the choking formality of the surroundings. As soon as we do, the same waiter reappears at our table with 2 empty glasses and a bottle, the contents of which are quickly and professionally poured into the former. We both nod politely as he leaves, Lily taking our glass and gently moving it from side to side. The liquid inside glistens as it moves around in the glass. And I have to admit, it makes me a little less regretful for ordering the same. I guess it must take effort to judge how the liquid inside is acting based on only its center of balance. Maybe it's like our origami, taking every little chance to practice her dexterity. I guess I'm not surprised that you know about a place like this. Those who have money would, I suppose. This reminds me of just how completely different our upbringings were. In Yamaku, it's easy to forget about social and economic disparity between students all wearing the same uniforms, living in the same dormitories. Well, Akita was the one to tell me of it. She's come here before, apparently. So that's what they were conspiring about on Friday. And you chastised me for cheating. That's not cheating. It's simply making use of personal contacts. If you say so. Still, I get the feeling that you're more familiar with this kind of restaurant than I am. She pauses a moment, a wistful look on her face, before softly smiling. The compliment seems to brighten her mood. You can thank my former school for that. If I were to appear any less, they'd be gravely disappointed. She has mentioned her previous schooling before, but now I'm kind of curious. She seems to think a lot about her past, so I don't see any problem in asking. What was that like? It was prestigious, all girls, and Catholic. Oh, jeez. These facts made my parents choose it for me. Many wealthy families sent their daughters there. From how it sounds, life there must have been pretty strict. I wouldn't say it was a bad experience, but you're quite right. It was very strict. Thankfully, I managed to adapt well enough and make a number of friends. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for my sister. She found the atmosphere and religious aspects suffocating, and ended up leaving for a job as soon as she was able to. She gives a small, self-deprecating chuckle. I shouldn't complain about it, though. Not many even have the chance to go to such a school. Do you resent your parents for sending you there and leaving? She gently shakes her head. My family is highly patriarchal. My father, business always on his mind, was entirely lost as to what to do with me. In the end, he made the decision that my education was of higher priority than staying with the family. He simply did what he thought was best. Say such things so easily. What an unbelievable girl. That said, I'm a little surprised she doesn't think her blindness played any part at all. Though maybe I'm being too harsh on her family. You're too kind-hearted, you know that? Hmm? Most would hate their parents for something like that. Well, some do. Oblivious to my raised eyebrow, she takes a sip from her glass. The wine slips down effortlessly, her fondness for it evidently helping her deal with the flavor of alcohol. Can't say the same goes for me. What of yourself? What was your schooling like? Mine? Let's see. It was a fairly normal public school, I suppose. Maybe a bit busier than the norm. I did quite well in class and played in the soccer club. Since I'm an only child and my parents both worked a lot, I wasted most of my free time and money at the arcade with my three friends. No matter how much I played, though, I never did manage to beat Mai at any of those machines. Even Takumi and Shin lost to her whenever they tried. Then I'd be left trying to be the responsible adult when Shin and Mai fought. Again. Just the four of us, aimlessly enjoying our childhood. Those were some pretty silly times. Catch myself as I realized I'd started to zone out. The days of my old school disappearing to the night sky and bright city lights outside the window. Lily's face is an odd mixture of curiosity and sympathy. Given her strict schooling, I suppose something like this would seem an interesting contrast to the only life she's known. It sounds like your previous school was a lot of fun. I'm not really sure how much of it is nostalgia, but there are some nice memories. That's in the past, though. I can't go back there now. But through my accident, I found a new life I never have imagined leading. The peace and calm of Yamako, a new direction for my future in science, the friendship of Shizune, Misha, and Hanako, and most of all, you. And this one has a lot of art on it. And then again, it's been a minute since I did the Shizune one, so I don't quite remember, but yeah. She gives a deep, genuine smile as she moves her hands towards me, her fingers just lightly searching out my face, or softly caressing my cheek. Her hand reluctantly retreats after a second of warm silence, as we notice the waiter arriving with our meals. Lily does a deft job of covering her condition, except for the fact that her nod to him is slightly misaligned due to his silence. She really seems to work hard at appearing as normal as possible in public. While I noticed that long ago, I still can't quite gauge whether it's a want to not be treated differently, a slight sense of vanity, or some mixture of both. Appearing normal as possible is called masking. The dish served lives up to the salad name, and the portions pleasantly large. With sliced eggs and tomato, looks very enticing indeed. Salad, how's it looking enticing? Lily takes her knife in one hand and fork in the other, quickly getting to work on the dishes I do. It's later than when we usually have dinner, so we're both eager to dig in. My cautious skewering of leaves and vaguely meat-like squares with my fork is matched by Lily's silent and measured prodding and chewing. Occasional tap around the sides of a piece of the fork to work out its edges is the only giveaway to her lack of sight. I'm done with my meal in little time, Lily taking the last few bites as I sit observing her. Finished, Hisao? Yeah, it was pretty nice. That much is very true. Never thought a sip of salad could be so tasty and filling. Then again, I suppose that's why it costs so much to eat here. Content with my appraisal and evidently agreeing, Lily gives a small nod. You know, given that... Oh, sorry, that's Hisao. Given that you're part foreign, exotic looking, and quite pretty, I'm surprised that nobody's ever confessed to you before. You're assuming nobody did. The simple statement takes me off guard. I shouldn't be surprised, given that I was complimenting her just moments before. Really? I've received several confessions, both in this school and my previous one. Adolescence is a funny time. She's kind of talking as if she's above it herself. Huh, how easily you say such a thing. Lily looks surprised for a moment before a playful smirk covers her face. Is that jealousy? What? No, it isn't. You're a bad liar, Hisao. You should take that into account. Then again, I do appreciate how sincere you are, even if you don't intend to be sometimes. I think your honesty will always serve you well when dealing with others. Clear my throat in mock disapproval of this whole business and try to steer the conversation elsewhere. To tell the truth, though, I do prefer solitude to being surrounded by others. I don't think I can maintain a social circle like you do. She contemplates this for a moment. I don't think that's true either. I've seen how gentle and caring you are around Hanako, and you get on marvelously with others, even those whom you hardly know. I think you're quite adept at social situations. But on that note, what of your confessions, Hisao? I'm sure someone like you must have had at least one admirer. Oh, yeah. Literally the one admirer that led up to him being hospitalized. As I open my mouth to speak, I feel my face turn slightly dour. At times like this, I secretly appreciate the fact that she can't see my expressions. Just one. Her name was Iwanako. It was when she confessed to me that I had my heart attack. There in the woods during winter. Lily finds herself speechless, not expecting for the topic to move into such an area. I think no one would, buddy. No one expects that the moment someone's telling you, oh, I really like you, I want to go out with you, and then you fucking have a heart attack in that moment. What the fuck? Like, I remember being a little blindsided. I knew that the story was about a guy who ended up in this school because, he had a disability, but I wasn't sure what the disability was. And then seeing it happen, I was like, holy crap. Shit goes from 0 to 100 pretty quickly, that first, in the prologue. My condition has always been something of a concern for her. Something that I strive to minimize despite my body's best efforts to the contrary. Afterwards, she visited me for a while when I was in the hospital. For weeks, she came in and talked. It was usually just small talk or classroom gossip, but that was enough. But eventually, she just stopped coming. She was there every day, then every other day, then once a week, then finally, one day she just stopped visiting entirely. Did you ever see her again? Wrapped in my own little world, I shake my head for remembering the futility of the gesture. Drop the subject, mention the letter. Okay, hold on. I don't want to fuck this up. But I feel like, honesty is the best policy. I'll save it here. So I don't want to drop the subject. I will mention the letter. Besides, she does. I mean, he said so himself that she can tell when something needs to be said, or someone's lying, or at least with him anyway. Mention the letter. Yes, honesty is the best policy. The memory of that single letter Iwanako sent me comes back to mind. I never saw her again, but after I said to Yamaku, she wrote me one letter. Lily's face shows an expression I know well. I piqued her interest. I'd be slightly offended that it's simply a matter of curiosity for her. But she's never been very good at masking her reactions. In hindsight, it really didn't say much. What was going on in my old class, how she was faring, and almost as an afterthought, that it was probably best for the both of us that we don't see each other again. After reading it, I ended up reassessing a lot of things I thought I'd managed to work out. For the most part, that letter reminded me that the world around me was still moving, and just how much I'd become isolated from it. Yes, the world keeps turning without you. With or without you. And I guess it also reminded me of what I lost. She gives the information some thought before her face lights up in realization. No doubt she's worked out that it was this letter which had contributed to my angst during that lunch on the rooftop. It's a rare sight to see Lily quite so lost for words. Her entire persona is a little deflated from her earlier rapt interest. As charismatic as she is, in the end, that isn't any replacement for life nor relationship experience. Perhaps it is better she sent it than not. How's that? It can be difficult to work out how best to communicate with those you haven't met in a long time. All the more so, considering your separate situations. Instead of doing what was easiest, she built up the courage to talk to you one last time. Not only for her sake, but, from how it sounds, for yours as well. Okay, so she's saying that it's basically a, oh god, I just had the word in my head right now, damn it. Closure. There you go. To bring closure for both of them, like, that this girl knew, like, you know what? With all that happened to him, this is not gonna work out. And I don't know if I'm strong enough to be there for him like that, and then... maybe. I don't hate her for it, but not that I really ever did, but I don't know. Probably more non-committal answer than I should give, but it isn't without cause. I've never looked at the situation from Iwanako's perspective like that before. Seconds pass in silence before Lily speaks again. Moving to Yamaku must have been hard for you. Having your friends and even your girlfriend taken from you for no fault of your own. I don't think they were that... I don't think they made it official. The worst of it passed while I was in the hospital. When all that surrounds you is four white walls and a small television, your mind takes on a life of its own. It's like my old school, I guess. I just try not to dwell on what's happened and keep thinking ahead. All that reminiscing does is get me down. And it's largely thanks to you that it feels like things are finally getting back on track. That's pleasing to hear, Hisao. She rose her face slightly, her expression pensive. I guess I went too far and embarrassed her. I suppose you went through something a bit like that. A bit like what I did when you entered Yamaku anyway, right? I imagine the vast majority of our school students did, after all. You said yourself that you made friends in your old school. Can't imagine many followed you. Lily's deep smile drops, her expression unexpectedly darkening. Even her hands retreat to her lap. After a long while, she speaks. Hisao, can you promise not to tell anyone else what I'm about to? I promise. She looks slightly taken aback by my serious tone, but then relents and smiles weakly before continuing. When I moved to Yamaku, I did regret losing the friends I'd had at my other school. Oh, that's pretty normal, Lily. But there was one person whom I most regretted not seeing again. He was the reason I took up English as a future career. He? Since she came from an all-girls school, that can't have been a schoolmate then. I rejected the confessions I'd received until then for him. Every time I improved my English skills, his praise was the most treasured reward. Oh, she had a crush on her teacher. It's funny, isn't it? Someone like me, able to boast about the people who have set eyes on me, liking someone so utterly unattainable as my tutor. It truly is the most ridiculous thing. Did you... She quickly shakes her head from side to side. I couldn't. Even then, I knew it was impossible. A silence reigns over both of us. Well, I mean, at least she had the maturity to know that it was going to be that her feelings were not going to be reciprocated. This does seem to explain her ardent focus on her future in teaching English, but I can't help thinking of her confession to me. She lost Sam without ever letting her feelings be known. Did she somehow fear that would happen again, but with me? I don't really know what to make of it. I've heard of such relationships before. Taboos born of such things as puberty and youth. The fact that she had the good judgment not to act on it, though, is heartening. I know this must sound strange, but please, don't think of me. Why would I think any less of you for that? To be honest, I think he must have been a very nice person if you liked him so much. Not only that, but you stopped yourself before going too far. For a moment, she looks somewhat lost. Most unexpectedly, though, it isn't a second before she starts to laugh. The sound takes me off guard. It's not a giggle nor a restrained chuckle, but honest and genuine laughter. I find myself smiling, and not just at her display of relief and happiness, but for her to trust me enough to let me see this most private of secrets. Oh, back to the picture. Before I realize it, I feel her palm touching my face. Her touch is gentle as ever, with her thumb slowly stroking my cheek. You're kind, Hisao. I really do love you. Seeing her face like this, with her palm gently caressing my face, I think tonight has been a wonderful night. I guess we both had pretty weird pasts, huh? I think by most standards, our present is rather odd as well. I smile and hang my head. This woman can easily run rings around me. Of that I'm quite sure. I look back around the room with its continuing quiet hum of patrons. This place probably fits into the odd category, too. It is a tad overbearing. That's one word for it, yeah. Catch the eye of a scurrying waiter, a short, scrawny guy no older than 20. He reminds me of Kenji, though unlike him, the waiter isn't dressed for winter during midsummer. After Kurt bowed and offered to remove our plates, Lily asked for the bill politely and softly. With expert coordination, he maneuvers around the tables, our plates in hand, to retrieve our bill. In no time, he appears to the door, smartly handing our bill to Lily, who promptly hands it to me, causing him to raise an eyebrow. Oh, that is very devious of you, Lily. I'll take the bill. Here you go. Damn. That's hilarious. I remember once seeing this video, like, of, this guy and this girl, they're, like, she's, like, slowly, like, pulling out her, like, card out of her wallet, and he comes up and, like, they're, like, doing it at the same time, basically. But she's doing it a bit slower, and they're just, like, kind of dancing, like, oh, are you gonna do it? You gonna do it? And then she's making it seem like, oh, like, kind of being kind of coy about it in a way, like, oh, like maybe, or maybe can you get it, kind of thing. And then next, you just see him like pull back his card completely and just like tuck it away and walk away, leaving her to pay for the food. It wasn't a restaurant though. They were at a convenience store. It's what it looked like. And she's just looking around like she looks at him like, "What? Did you really just do that? You left me with the bill." Food. I just think that she should not have been like playing a game out of it, like, oh, maybe have you or me kind of thing. Like, if you really don't want to pay, just say so. If you want to pay, say so, you know? Like, I am upfront, or at least I consider myself, yes, that I am upfront. Or at least I was with Icy when we were out in Ireland and stuff. I mean, he was upfront, like, here, I'll cover this. And then there were times when we're like, here, let me get it. I would tell him, like, here, let me get it. And I would, and I'll follow up with, you paid for this or you paid for that, let me help. Every time he always asks me, are you sure? But, I just double down and then he's like, he just leaves it like, okay. All right, fine, you can pay. I don't know if some of it is like he really was accepting help or if he kind of knew that even if he did want to pay, the fact that I was pushing it meant that I was stubborn enough to not give in. That he just like, you know what, fine, take it. I concede. I'll have to ask him that. I'll see. As I read the small computer printed leaflet, the cost is considerably more than I expected. Hisao? Oh, I quickly stammer out the amount, to which Lily merely nods and reaches for his burp. Oh, okay, so that's why she gave him the... Of course, because she can't read it, fuck. He was a baby girl that time. I mean, we took turns. He's bought me, like, meals over there, and I bought some meals for us over there. Snacks and all, yeah. I have to admit, though, one of the things I kind of miss that I wish they'd do it over here was sourdough pizza. That was there's something about it that's like kind of nice. Give her a card to the waiter. He disappears once again. God, I can't believe I forgot that she was fucking blind. That's why she gave him the bill and she can't read it. That was a disproportionately large amount of money. The statement seems to make Lily slightly uncomfortable. My family leaves me more than enough for my education. The same goes for my sister, though she dislikes being reminded of that fact. That said, I too dislike throwing money about, but this one time I think I can make an exception. Just for you. Not only did you choose our date, but you paid for both of us as well. That means, Hisao, you should find a place that you know you can pay for if it comes to it. If you're gonna be like, oh man, she picked it and she paid for both. Damn, what am I doing? Then fucking step up, pick a place, and find a place that you can pay for. God damn. I take the bridge of my nose and my fingers. I can't believe how high you have set the bar for our next date. She gives a small giggle. I'll be looking forward to it, Hisao. The waiter reappears beside us as if by magic and hands Lily's card back to her. Evidently, picking up on her lack of sight, he places the card in her hand with an extra, perhaps unneeded amount of firmness to make sure of grip. Leaving, he exercises a measure of diplomacy by keeping a neutral face despite my own expression. Clapping my hands together, I stand up from my seat in order to bring an end to our night out. Shall we be off then, my Fuck. I was gonna say Miley, but then I saw the way it was spelled. Fuck. Shall we off then, milady? Fuck. Milady. Of course, my lord. Whoa, what the? Yeah. I snap upwards out of my sheets and sit bolt upright in bed, as if an electric shock had just run through my entire body. Holy shit, what the fuck? Oh no, is it his heart again? The night air feels cold against the sweat of my bare skin. My breathing short and rugged, nearly to the point of hyperventilation. Oh shit, hyperventilation. Mind racing, I bring my hand to my head in an attempt to soothe my body's panic state. It takes me a number of seconds to realize my hand is shaking violently, even as I press it against my face. More seconds pass in complete silence. My desperate attempts to subdue my body and mind slowly, thankfully working. Gather myself, I start taking measure of the state I'm in. Feels like I've run a marathon, every muscle feeling tensed and sweat practically pouring off of me. I carefully direct my attention to the beating in my chest, measuring out the rhythm in my head. Sure enough, my unreliable heart is functioning properly, for once. Just, what the hell was that? A heart attack? A bad nightmare? Medicine side effects? I've heard about panic attacks, and this does seem to have the hallmarks of one. I can't even be bothered thinking about it right now. I feel utterly exhausted yet completely awake after this experience. I look over to the other side of my bed, the pale white and the silent figure's face almost glowing in the nighttime darkness of the room. Oh, so she went to your room, okay. Just the sight of her is enough to calm me down significantly. Her graceful demeanor persists even while she's asleep, her perfectly measured breathing and gentle pace making it impossible to tell whether she's awake or truly sleeping. Giving into temptation, I delicately run my fingertips over her hand. Her skin is soft to the touch, as it always has been, yet warm even in the cold night. It's at times like this, silently appreciating each other's presence, that I feel we're closest. My fingers stop at her wrist, and I bring my hand back down to the bed beside me. I'm not entirely sure why, but as we became ever closer to each other, it felt as if something grew between us. I'm not entirely sure what it is, nor whether it existed before we'd fallen in love. Everything is moving so fast. I don't mind it at all, but it feels like unlike Lily to be pushing things this much. Oh, she was the one who insisted that she sleep with him? Like actually sleep, like not like sex this time, but just sleeping? Huh. I have to admit though, I'm noticing how much more romantic this one is compared to the Shizune route. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like there wasn't nearly as much romance in that one as it is here. There's some romantic moments, yes, but I don't know, it definitely feels different. Thankfully, there aren't any students milling around in the hallways at this hour of the morning. This will be interrogated on why I'm carrying 2 plates of breakfast to my room while dressed in obviously hastily donned uniform. That isn't to say things like this never happen, of course. A single security guard patrolling between 2 sets of bedrooms situated right next to each other is a very small force compared to adolescent hormones. Come to think of it, the fact that it's Monday morning probably helps. Good glasses. Good glasses, guys, in there. Don't jinx it. I'm not really sure why, but Mondays seem to bother me less than they do most others. Takes a little creative use of my hands and elbow, but eventually I managed to work the door to my dormitory room open. Stepping inside, I see Lily just getting up from the bed and entirely rubbing her eyes. She looks a mess. Just like most of the times I've seen her soon after she wakes. She really isn't a morning person. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. She groggily shakes her head. The morning light illuminating her makes for a very pleasant sight. It's okay. I needed to get up anyway. What time is it? I put my plate down on my desk and turn the clock around to check the time. Still early. Don't worry, there's plenty of time left before school. She sits on the side of the bed and begins to sniff the air. As she does so, I quickly move her plate away and put it on the desk beside mine. Yes, I got some breakfast. Shower and clothes come first, though. Oh, going in for another kiss. She stands still for a moment with her chin pointed slightly out. I gladly acquiesce and press my lips to hers, savoring the soft feeling before breaking off. With a small, sweet smile, apparently quite satisfied, she slowly makes her way to the showers. I stretch to try and wake myself up a little more, briefly looking at the steaming dishes on the desk. Rice, fish, miso soup, and some vegetables. A standard breakfast for a somewhat unusual day. I grab the bottles from my desk and start taking my daily regimen of pills. Yes, do not pass this on this man. Sometimes I wonder what these things are even good for, given all the troubles I've had since the initial accident. I can't even say that it doesn't hurt to take them, considering the side effects so far. Well, whatever. Doctor's orders are that I have to take them, and rationality suggests that I'd be well served to trust his judgment over mine. Does it take long for the noise of the shower to cease? A quick one, apparently, being fine for Lily given the circumstances. Emerging from the bathroom, she looks significantly more awake, having had the chance to collect herself. Without a word, I gently take her hand in mine and guide her to my desk. Considering I don't have trouble in my room as she does, it'll have to do. Well, I don't have a table, sorry. Thank you, Hisao. What did you prepare for breakfast? Just rice and some vegetables. Something fast. Her face lights up at the revelation. That's quite a breakfast. This is normal for you. Now she's just being nice. I have little doubt, considering her past, that this isn't exactly a high-class meal by her standards. And kids don't know restraint back in my time. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Just because we're students doesn't mean we can take it lightly. That's my belief anyway. From what others I've talked to have said, I might be in the minority. Take a seat on the side of my bed and begin eating together with Lily. Her chopsticks slightly tapping on the outlines of the vegetables, just as I noticed her doing during our date. This is quite nice, Hisao. I had no idea you could cook this well. This time, she's much more genuine, I could tell that much. That said, cooking really isn't anything special at all. After a bit of practice, it's pretty easy to make a simple dish. Most of the credit goes to modern technology. Still, after years of cooking for myself, I should hope so. I got bored of eating instant noodles and ordering pizza every time my parents were both working, so I taught myself how to make a few meals. I'm still trying to get the knack of it, though. You'll make a good wife someday, Hisao. Sorry, I need a water. I take a grain of rice and place it into my thumb. We're carefully taking aim and giving it a good flick. Lily jumps a little as it hits her cheek, right on target. I can't help chuckling a little at her expense as she lowers her brow and tries her best to assume a harsh and serious expression. Oh, that's right. Oh, what is it? Did you have any problems sleeping last night? You seem restless. So she was awake back then. Or at least partly so. Whether it was my heart or a nightmare caused by a side effects of my medicine, the last thing I want is for her to be worrying about me even more. Even before my relationship with Lily, I felt my body was a drag on everything I did. My body is my burden alone. As long as I'm with her, I'll continue to act as normally as possible. No, not particularly. Is that so? That's good then. Luckily, she seems to take me at my word. Come to think of it, there was something else I wanted to ask. Oh? How should I put it? When you dream, do you see people and objects? Oh yeah, of course, Oh. You're more than a little sheepish for that slip of the tongue, however earnest it may be. Lily looks unperturbed, though. But you don't taste, feel, nor smell things. I want to answer, but find myself stuck before thinking about it. The more I mull it over, the more I realize that her hypothesis is correct. That's true, I guess. I never looked at it that way. Are you saying that you do? For the most part, I only hear in dreams, but yes, sometimes I touch and smell things as well. I'm just asking since I could have thought it very strange that I did when I brought it up with her. If you don't either, then maybe it's due to my blindness. Oh, that would make sense. You rely on your other senses more than me, so maybe that affects your dreams as well. The wonders of the human body, I guess. For the rest of the time before school, we quietly eat the hearty breakfast in front of us, exchanging a few small pieces of small talk as we do. A quick peek out of the door assures nobody's looking directly at the entrance for the boy. Ugh, fuck. What have I done? Looking directly at the entrance of the boys' dormitory, so we walk out with the path clear. Wow, the weather's good today. I stretch as Lily and I make our way outside, the bright morning sun beaming down on us. By now, a few students can be seen doing the same, making their way to the main school building either from the dorms or through the main gate. It does feel nice and warm. Our hands linked and our cane tapping the ground. We begin in earnest our trip to the school building, enjoying the chatting throngs of students around us. This would be the last day of exams, no? Oh yeah. How are you going in them? Fairly well, things considered. You seem a bit stressed by them, though. It's that obvious, huh? I don't think it's just the exams, though. A lot of stuff's been happening in a short amount of time. And I'm not doing that well in the humanities subjects. You're doing well in science, though, aren't you? Oh, well, it'd be hard not to do well in science for me. Couldn't think of it. Did you say before that you weren't very good at science and math? Suzanne looks very sheepish, my remark no doubt hitting home. Lily's sense of pride really can be a double-edged sword. Well, aside from that, have you ever given thought to what you might do with that ability? It seems a pity to waste it. A bit. Mostly at Muto's prompting. In any case, I'll probably end up doing science as a career in some form. That's good to hear, Hisao. As I enter the gardens, I suddenly receive an unsolicited pat on the back. Oh, no. The green-dressed culprit dances around and meet me, evidently not paying any heed to Lily at my side. Of course, this Harry Potter cosplaying motherfucker. Hey man, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, just been busily with the exams and stuff. Boy, do you not— oh no, you can't sing, never mind. Exams, Eshmans. A true Renaissance man needs to know study to excel in such things. Can't you just strike me as the kind of person that does well in school? Even if he has a horrid attendance record and poor work ethic. So I've little reason to doubt his ability. To be honest, I'm a little envious of him. Between studying for exams and my time with Lily, I've had practically no time to myself. It is a bit like how Yuko feels. Good morning, Seto. It's good to hear you're doing well. It's slightly odd to see Lily speaking so formally. She's come to address me more casually over the months, though I have seen her speak more formally to classmates from time to time as well. Some people never change, I guess. Not that I say her calm and polite manner is a bad thing. It's one of the reasons I like being around her to begin with, after all. I swear to God, Kenji, if you don't fucking behave yourself. Kenji seems to take a moment to work out who it is beside me. He probably hasn't noticed us holding hands either. I wonder if those glasses of his actually do anything. Oh, hey Lily, good luck on your exams too. I'll see you after school then, man. Slight edge to his voice makes me think those words are meant to be an imperative rather than a casual farewell. I guess I'll have to smooth things over later. Sure, see ya. Oh god. Kenji nods curtly. He moves the pass by us. He's too busy glaring in Lily's general direction to take notice of her cane. We're going to try to react and save the situation. Kenji trips and reflexively reaches for a handhold. Unfortunately, said handhold turned out to be Lily's arm. Oh, you pulled her down! Both fall to the ground in a sprawling heap, me left feeling rather helpless. Kenji, you dumb fuck. Oh, damn, are you two okay? Kenji quickly rises up. seemingly unfazed by the accident. No problem, man, no problem. This is nothing. My body could take much worse abuse. Lily lies face down in the grass. She doesn't look hurt by the incident, more startled than anything. I move closer to offer her my help. Are you alright, Lily? Hey, Sato? Kenji offers her a hand, tentatively touching hers to let her know what he's doing. He says some odious things sometimes, but I do think he may be a genuinely good person at heart. That or it's just an act. I kind of don't think Kenji is really a good person. I imagine he feels pretty bad about this. I mean, we've heard his fucking rants about women, so... To his surprise and mine, though, Lily pounds on the ground with her fist without warning. What the... Damn it! Whoa. Kenji freezes, entirely caught by surprise at her outbursts. I'm just as shocked. She never acted like this before, not even around Shizune. Seemingly only now remembering that there are other people around her, Lily slowly climbs to her feet. Her face as she does so makes me retreat a little. Oh, that actually... Did that actually make her mad? Make sure you get a romance him to see what's up with him. I don't know if he's an option. I mean, she's always so poised and stuff, so someone to throw her off that badly... I can see why, you know, she'd be very annoyed. Because, like, as it is, like, she's presenting herself in a certain way. Which, now that I think about it, is kind of something similar she has with Shizune. Shizune wants to present herself in a good way by being good at everything. Lily, or at least, you know, doing a good job at everything she does. Lily presents herself in a certain way. Like, this is how she wants to be seen. Nothing else, nothing less. And if something messes with it, then it's just like, ironically, staring daggers at that person. Or whatever it was that messed up with her poise and her conduct. And that's probably the first time we heard her curse, too. Even if it is just a simple damn it. I only catch a glimpse of her expression before she turns away, but it's not something I'll forget soon. She showed plenty of annoyance during her clashes with Shizune, but this flash of anger was something else. Oh, she was genuinely mad, oh god. There's no way that this is just about this petty incident. She pauses for a moment before sighing and walking on ahead. I really don't know what to make of this. I'll, talk to you later, dude. See you. Yeah, see ya. Kenji scratches the back of his head, trying to find something to say, then shrugs and walks away, giving us a wide berth. Lily, dear, are you okay? I quickly catch up to Lily. She turns her head a little to acknowledge my presence, but nothing else. I should probably scold her for lashing out like that, but I also don't want to get into a shouting match with her. She's still very obviously annoying. In the end, I keep my mouth shut and wait for her to cool off. Wise man, yes. Give her time to cool down. Because if she's mad and you're gonna be criticizing how she acted and stuff, she's gonna not show any mercy. After a quiet walk in, we eventually reach the top of the third floor stairs, in the junction where we part every day. I turn to Lily before she leaves. While I do like the comfortable and warm silences we usually share, this was anything but. I don't want to leave things like this. Lily, are you mad? You seem quieter than usual recently. Is anything wrong? She shakes her head almost automatically, as if to dispel any notion that I need to worry about her. I'm fine, she said. Which, you know, we all know what that means. You're not fine. Oh, it's just the exams taking their toll. I'll be fine. I said it, I'll be fine. Oh. I don't think that's the reason. I very nearly say so, but decide against it. There's no point trying to draw it out of her if she doesn't want to tell me, especially when she's in a foul mood like this. Dang, we've never seen Lily in a foul mood. If you're sure, I'll see you later then. As I turn down the hall to go to my classroom, Lily's soft voice rings out from behind me. Hisao, yeah? I'm sorry. With that, Lily makes off down the hallway to her own classroom, her hands skating along the metal railings. I stand still and watch her until she turns into her classroom and out of sight. We're going to my own class with a fair measure of reluctance. As usual, I'm early. Muto is fiddling with folders and papers on his desk as he prepares for the day while a handful of students mill about, chatting away. While my feelings about Lily haven't dissipated, far from it, her mention of my exam performance did remind me that I have my own life's journey to attend to. After thinking about it, I realized that I generally want to pursue science in some form as a career, rather than it simply being the path of least resistance. Till now, though, I didn't have much of an idea of where in the field I wanted to go. Just science is a very broad category of jobs. Something Lily mentioned earlier focused my thoughts, something I only idly pondered about before. I had not seriously considered following this specific path. I walk up to Muta's desk, his attention too focused on preparing for the day's lessons to notice my approach. It's the same every day. Good morning. He looks up with an expression of mild surprise that's quickly replaced by his typical awkward smile. Good morning, Nakai. Can I help you? Oh, excuse me. Do you mind if I ask you something? He looks down at his messy pile of books on the desk. Before putting down the papers in his hand, standing up with some difficulty to properly address me. That's what I'm here for, after all. Ask away. I was just wondering, what would you say is the motivation behind teaching? He thinks on this question for a few moments before responding, evidently far from having a prepared answer. If you talk to 10 different teachers, I think you'll get 10 different answers to that question. Well, I can only speak for myself. I'd say that I teach because... He seems hypnotic and carefully assessing the way he wishes to present his idea. Think of it this way. When you were a child, you probably played with sticks and pebbles in moving water, such as a gutter or puddles, right? Yeah, I think a lot of people do that when they're young. Well, it's not just when they're young for some, though it does take it on another form. My point is, though, now when one is doing that, you're curious about how the water will flow or be changed. Everyone, even at that young age, possesses an intense wonderment about how the world around them works, even in its smallest forms. I still feel that sense of wonderment about the universe. Even just reading about new discoveries or classic experiments gives me a renewed sense of awe at how marvelous everything is. From the farthest stars to the smallest puddle. I just hope that I can give others even a small piece of that wonderment I feel. I can do that, even if it's just for one person. I think I can be happy as a teacher. He scratches his head as he mentally reviews what he said. I feel like I understand him better now. Even if he's awkward and around others, he does have a genuine want to be around them and offer them a piece of himself that he values. Well, Lily told me yesterday rings in my ears. I think you get on well with others. Huh. She always did say I was unusually curious. Sorry that was a little meandering. Does it answer your question? It does. Thank you. I also have another question, actually. Suba. What is he asking about girls? Oh, what might that be? Oh, never mind. Do you have any college brochures or guides? It's about time I started getting my some applications in. He nods and bends down to look inside his desk. As he does so, I notice that he's wearing a remarkably genuine smile. I don't think I've ever really seen him act this natural around others. Perhaps this isn't Muto, the teacher, but rather Muto, the person. Here, if you need any more, feel free to ask. He hands me about half a dozen brochures and booklets of various colors and sizes, which I take eagerly. Yes, it'll be this information which I'll use to forge my own future. I think now, after all this time and all these trials, I can finally start to see the big picture of my life ahead of me. My body may be like this. My mind is still very much able. Thank you. I want to know what happened with Lily. I know we're going into overtime, but I gotta know. Are we going to talk about it? We are going to talk about it, right? This is strange. A single thought has graced my mind a countless number of times since my life here began. Feels like an easy way to discard a troubling question, as if simply labeling something with those 3 words will make it go away. Or at least not worth thinking about any further. That's a cup of tea. My life before my heart attack feels more blurry every time I try to remember it. And my mind struggles to keep up with all the events suddenly happening around me, a sense, oh, it's brightening, and on top of that, you can see his reflection now. I heard somewhere that this is what it feels like to be left stranded in a country with only the most basic understanding of the local language. Indeed, when I think about it, that seems a marvelously apt analogy for what's happened to me. But such situations are also supposed to make you very capable in that language very fast, as you're forced to learn it in order to survive. Put another way, the situation becomes sink or swim. I wonder if I've really managed to swim after all this time. The exams are stressing me out a lot, even though they're finally coming to an end. But I remained in Muto's favor. I have some sort of direction for my future now. I keep using that stupid, meaningless phrase. This is strange. It really is amazing how fast one comes to accept being surrounded by people with sometimes incredibly jarring disabilities and conditions. So much so that I really wonder why I feel so much like a foreigner. It certainly isn't for lack of socialization or friends. I kind of know most of my classmates on first name terms, and now a few others around the school. Whether they're missing an arm or a leg, the students here are just like anyone else of their age. I can navigate the halls that I once lost myself in with an ease I not expected to ever have, thanks to the school's logical layout. I can engage my teachers in comfortable discussion. I swirled around gently the tea in my cup, the reflected image of my face becoming distorted by the moving liquid. This is strange. I used to hate drinking tea. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Really sound of china rattling from a teacup touching an accompanying saucer rings out. Is something the matter? Don't worry, it's nothing. Wait, we're not going to talk about her being mad? I take a long sip of the tea in front of me as the girls do. She's whiling away that time in Lily's room sipping tea with her and Hanako. It was familiar, well, it's nostalgic. So how's your work in the newspaper club going, Hanako? I want to know too. It sounds like it would be quite interesting. Hanako's face turns down the attention placed upon her. No, her smile belies the fact that she genuinely likes being the center of interest for the 2 of us. It's good. I think I'm getting better at it. Naomi and a couple of friends handle most of the jobs, getting stories and stuff. I just do the computer things, like putting the stories together and getting it printed. It's nice, since I can sit and concentrate. I see Lily's low-tech nature is shared by Hanako. While sitting in a room compiling other people's newspaper articles into documents that doesn't strike me as overly outgoing, it is heartening to see her widening her circle of friends. Baby steps, I guess. It's probably a bit much to be expecting her to become a socialite like Lily. How are you finding Naomi? I heard she'd be quite troublesome at times. And Lily's going into her mothering mode over Hanako. Letting go of her is something she's had to learn. Hanako scratches her cheek, thinking on her answer. Naomi's nice. She's a bit loud sometimes, and a bit tiring. But she's really helpful. Her friends are nice too. That's wonderful to hear, Hanako. I'm glad you found a source of such enjoyment. Lily's smile is warm and genuine. I can sense a touch of wistfulness to it as well. Hanako seems to miss that entirely, but I don't think for a second that I'm imagining it. I suppose it's because I've slowly come to pay more and more attention to everything going on around me. With things seemingly happening faster and faster, it feels like I'll miss something if I'm not as observant as possible. With the exams, my newfound low life, trying to fit in some studying regarding my options for college and university, and my heart condition applying the brakes on everything at irritatingly random times, my brain's been in overdrive recently. Makes me appreciate the rare quiet times such as these. I guess this is why Lily came to appreciate her weekly walks into the convenience store and her tea parties with Hanako. Despite her despite her like of being surrounded by others. They gave her a moment of peace in a chaotic and busy life. Thank God the exams are over, huh? And the comment draws an earnest chuckle from both of these girls. Seems like everybody's been a lot happier since the exams ended last week. So what are you doing for the summer holidays, Hanako? Only, I couldn't count the days in my head. Today's Monday, and school finishes Saturday. 5 days to go, after all. I was thinking of traveling, just around a bit. There's a lot of places I want to see, and I think I have enough money to pay for the bus and train rides. Naomi and one of the girls in the newspaper club said they might come along too. Her look indicates she's given the matter quite a lot of thought. I'm surprised that she's contemplating something like this. Seems she's really become intent on striking out on her own. Is there anywhere in particular you're thinking of going? I was thinking that Kyoto sounds nice. I think I'll try to go to a few places, though. Lily nods in approval, happy with Hanako's plans. I cast my eyes to Lily. I refrained from asking her the same question. She's been evasive with her plans for the future for a long time now. I never seem to get a good time to broach the subject alone with her. What about the time when she was mad? I want to know why. What was going on in her mind? Jesus. Every time it comes up in conversation, it feels like she's either unsure of herself or simply dodging the question. It's troubling. Be sure to call sometime when you're out and about. I gave you my number before, right? Michael gives a quick nod, a smile on her face. Strange to see how happy people seem to become when they have a goal to work towards. Yuko seems to brighten whenever her university aspirations are brought up. And now Hanako, she's the same. So why do I still feel this uncertainty? And why Lily too? Relationships really can be irritatingly troublesome sometimes. Oh, what time is it? Sorry, I'm just like a little thrown off that they're not. I mean, it's been like completely skipped over that they not talk about why Lily was mad. I mean, I could assume what it is, but huh? Oh, takes me a second to remember that Lily's clock doesn't have any visual feedback. I really should know, given how many times I've been in her room. Nevertheless, I take my watch from my bag and quickly check it. The reason for our asking becoming clear. It's about 20 past 10, near the curfew. Hanako rises to her feet, dusting herself off, and neatening her gown after doing so. I'd better get going then. Good night, Lily. Hisao. Sleep well, Hanako. See you tomorrow. Oh, no, Sam. Sorry. See you tomorrow. Now she walks to the door and quietly makes her exit. Are we going to talk about it? Please, are we going to talk about it here? Silence. It seems to be happening more and more between Lily and me recently. After a few seconds, I finally find something to talk about. Oh yeah, I talked to Muto on Friday. Finally checked out some guides on college and how to apply for it. That's good news. If you're going to be applying for colleges, I assume you have some idea in mind of what you might do in the future. I think I've settled on becoming a science teacher. It's going to take a while to get through university and everything to be qualified, but I think it'll be worth it. Lily's face brightens considerably at the news. I suppose with her wish to become a teacher, she decided I'd take the same kind of path. So you've decided a career of teaching. I think that path suits you most excellently, Hisao. I smile and nod, this time even if I know she can't see me doing so. I know she feels it. I imagine Muto would have taken to the news well. Oh, that's one word for it. Hey, Lily? Yes? I know you want to be a teacher, but I kind of wonder whether I should really ask her the question on my mind, but let's quickly brush aside by the fact that this is rather late to have second thoughts. Surely you don't still think I'd be offended by something regarding my blindness. Kissing tone is betrayed by a grinning face. I'm using my awkwardness in raising the topic. Some things never change. Good point, I guess. I was just thinking about whether or not being blind would be a hindrance, with your ambitions to become a teacher and all. She looks mildly surprised for giving the question some thought. I refuse to think she's never actually pondered this issue before. I wonder. Hisao, could you close your eyes for a moment? Okay. Raising an eyebrow, I do as she requests. I have no idea what she has in mind, and my questions only increase as I peek out from one eye. Taking the black ribbon she usually wears in her hair from the cavity beside her bed, she advances towards me while running it through her fingers, to remove any stray hairs remaining in the piece of cloth. What the? I suddenly click on to her intentions as I feel the black strip make contact with my face, wrapping around my head and over my eyes. What exactly is this for? It's a little test, Hisao. Since you seem to be wondering, I'll let you see things as I do for a time. Huh, so that's what this is about. To be honest, this actually seems kind of fun. Childish and rather silly to anyone who will be watching, but a bit of silly fun never hurt anyone. I sat with the heat, my hands quickly moving out in front of me to warm me up any obstacles. Okay, now what? Now touch me. If you say so, now then. I slowly make my way forwards towards the sound of Lily's voice. My walking speed could barely be called a shuffle. The entire experience feeling alien enough that I don't want to risk inadvertently tripping over anything, such as her table or her haphazard piles of books. Oops, I think I might have accidentally clicked that. Let's see, something soft is solid, brushes against my left leg. Further inspection reveals it to be Lily's bed. I move onwards, finding myself thankful that Lily's room is so neat and tidy. Even the piles of books she has are generally kept close to the wall, well out of harm's way. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I just read that. Okay. The hard wall pressing against my outstretched hands makes me furrow my brow in frustration. Hey, Lily, where are you? What are you doing over there? I'm over here. Lily's voice comes from the other side of the room, far from where it was before. Even to my untrained ears, if she's going out of her way to avoid me reaching her, then is this just a game to her? Of course it is. Such a life where even the concept of sight isn't enough to strike one. A few minutes in a blindfolded or nothing. I guess she's made her point. She's more than capable of it navigating a room and further. Seeing how independent she is, even when compared to many of the students of the others in Yamaku. Well, even if this is just a game, I might as well play it wholeheartedly. Pace much quicker than before, I move towards the source of her voice, deftly sidestepping the table in the center of the room thanks to remembering its position. Got you now. She gives an impish giggle, when it's just long enough to work out that she's passing just beside me. I quickly turn around and face the new direction. The table wasn't there before. Ow, ow, ow. I slowly stood up next to the table, raising my blindfold as I rubbed my aching head. Give an intricate kick to the table that's sitting just in front of me where I fell. Utterly pointless, but the thing deserved it. Hisao? He's still standing up just to my side, obviously unsure what's befallen me. Sorry, I kind of fell over. Are you hurt? My head hurts, but I think I'm okay. I think that table moved in. In order to trip me over. She giggles as she walks over and takes a seat beside me, her hand resting on my own. I suppose that's the end of that then. I think so. But I also think I get the point. I do wish it hadn't involved such a headache. Lily suddenly looks blank. Point? I return an extraordinarily flat look. That was just for fun? I just thought I might ease you up a little about the subject. You always seem to tiptoe around it, after all. In regard to teaching, sight isn't that important. There are plenty of classes taught by entirely blind teachers, and more than enough resources for me to learn the subject. It's as simple as that, really. I slump my shoulders and give a snort of amusement. Yeah, I understand. I guess we'll both just work hard to reach our goals then. What is it? A little hesitation, Lily pushes forward her chin and closes her eyes in an unmistakable gesture. Oh. No, the chinchilla with the squash. Whoa. More. I want more. Oh. I can feel my chest tightening as I walk back and forth frantically, both of us entirely taking with ourselves. Oh my god, don't tell me this is happening in the moment. Nothing that unusual. I just need to take deeper breaths to steady myself. This feeling is just normal. Oh my god, this is what I was scared was gonna happen. Uh, uh. Oh god, are you just breathing hard? This is... I can't. This pain is too much. Ugh. Slump backwards from laying with seemingly haste, clumsily hitting the back of my foot against the table and falling to the ground with an unceremonious crash. Breathing wildly, I frantically scrape at the ribbon over my eyes as I lay on my back. I had to get this off. I had to get this off. Oh, okay, so they did some blindfold play. For a moment, everything was blank, as a rush of newfound light assaults my eyes. My breathing slows from the brink of hyperventilation. Seconds pass, and I carefully measure out the rhythm of my heartbeats with every ounce of concentration I can muster. My heart is normal. It's back to normal. My body feels utterly bizarre as I lay dazed on the floor looking at the ceiling. The adrenaline from before is still pouring through my veins, but my mind is completely exhausted. I prod myself up as I hear Lily getting off the bed and coming towards me. Hisao, are you okay? Hisao! I'm fine, Lily. I'm fine. No, you're not. She gives a sigh of relief, her worried expression collapsing. Her face afterwards is the very last I'd ever want to see from her. It's the face I detested when I first saw my parents in the hospital all those months ago. Pity. Lily pities me. I just close my eyes and turn away, powerless. I feel like throwing up. Sorry. She slowly shakes her head as she finishes buttoning up her top. Her kind smile looks so fragile, so delicate, that it makes my heart sink. Approaching carefully, she feels out the edge of the little table before taking a seat next to me, putting her arms around my chest. I'm sorry, Hisao. I shouldn't have pushed my desires onto you. You don't need to apologize. I normally be fine. You've seen that much before. I guess I shouldn't have tried to push myself so far. My eyelids feel heavy. Only sitting next to her like this is probably letting the adrenaline work itself out in my system and letting my mind relax. So that's why you never took the lead? Oh, whoa, I didn't. Okay. Obviously because we're not, it's censored and all that. So that means like the sex scenes all before, he let her take the charge every time. Yeah, I guess it's a good thing you like to, huh? The joke seems to lie in her expression a little, fact which helps let me feel less uneasy about my unreliable self. Lily's head comes to rest my shoulders. I struggle to keep my eyes open, with more difficulty after each blink. I feel completely drained. It's okay, he said. It's all okay. No sooner does she say this than a small, quiet tune escapes her lips. Entirely too tired to think. All I can do is listen to her soft humming. It's a soft, almost melancholic tune. It sounds familiar. But the more I try to remember its origin, the less I seem able to concentrate. The feeling in the center of her head, gently resting on my shoulder, and her warm body against my side are soothing. The soft humming of her voice, too, relaxes my mind as much as her warmth relaxes my muscles. This singular quiet moment, after all this fracas, okay, makes me realize just how exhausted I've become. I can feel my eyelids slowly becoming heavier and heavier. Even with the chaos of before, I wish this moment would last forever. Lily and I are together, sharing a single, solitary occasion together, just as we used to. If that's the case, why does she feel further away than she's ever felt before? Oh no. Okay, we're gonna stop here. I was really hoping they were going to talk about why she was mad that time, but I guess we're just kind of skirting around it. But anyway, I am going to save it. All right, call it here. Wait, no. Main menu. Damn, this novella's getting good, right? Yeah. Now I'm kind of wondering. Oh, I don't think we'll find out actually. I guess I was kind of wondering if there was a way to uncensor it. Actually, I missed the drama and suspense. Yeah, and it's kind of funny how I was just talking about that earlier. Like, oh yeah, maybe it is fine for him to have sex because as long as he's stable. Ah, and maybe they thought, okay, that one new symptom was just a fluke, and he seemed to be doing fine up until then. So I guess this means that, yeah, like, oh, yeah, he can't have sex, or at least he's got to slow it down considerably. But the main reason why I wanted on hope to see an uncensored one is because it seems there are things happening that are playing a part into things I had no idea about. Like obviously with the Shizune one, he had this moment of like, oh man, I can't believe she just took the lead on everything. And then with this one, apparently Hisao hasn't been proactive willingly. Like, no, I'll let her take the lead. As much as I want to, I will let her do it though. Especially with what she pointed out, like, oh, is that why you never took the lead? So it's like, huh. Huh, wow. After all the romance and stuff and all that, like, kind of refreshing to see this one, having her be mad and then now, um, this. We're now, like, in the act and made his heart act up. Which is kind of refreshing to see because, this is what I was talking about with Shizune and I was wondering, like, shouldn't this be a bad idea for a guy with a heart condition? Google, I mean, turns out I was right in a sense to have that worry. Google was trying to show me, no, it's fine still. No, it's not fine. So is she the tallest of the bunch? Lily? I think so. I think she is tall. We can see right now. Watch. If this is accurate, then this shows that she is pretty much taller, a good couple inches ahead. But I'm not sure how accurate this is. That so tall and dominant. Yep. All right. So I guess we'll call it here. Too bad I didn't get the answers I really wanted. Oh, there's a game you want me to try? Okay. Yeah, wow. Shit, man. Now I feel conflicted about, not doing a reading of Katawa Shoujo. Well, we can answer. Stay tuned. Next on Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I guess we'll see where the drama goes with them. Alrighty, but in the meantime, I'm gonna have to call it a night here. So, good chat, good chat. Okay, have a good night. See you tomorrow. Alright, see you, Leaf. I'll see you with the stream that I'm gonna have at Icy. Alright, so guys, have a good rest of your morning, day, night, whatever. I am turning in now. So, and tomorrow I'll be Danganronpa. I've heard of that one. I don't think I've ever played one. I'll check it out. See if it's something I want to do. But yeah, I've heard of that game before. Like I said, I'll take a look. Alright, let me turn that off. Okay. Alright guys, so till then, until tomorrow anyway, I'll hope you guys take care of yourselves, and good night.